16-year-old boy receives a text message from his own phone number while sitting on Flight 214, and the message contains details about a crash that will happen in exactly 47 minutes, sent from a future version of himself who is already dead. Before we dive in, what time are you listening? Where are you from? Drop a comment below and tell me. And please like and subscribe for more videos like this. Tyler Chen sits in seat 19F, scrolling through his phone during the last 30 seconds before the flight attendant tells everyone to switch to airplane mode. He is heading to Seattle to visit his grandmother. His parents could not take time off work, so they sent him alone. First time flying solo. He feels grown up, independent. The plane is only half full. Middle of the afternoon on a Wednesday. Mostly business travelers, typing on laptops, and a few families scattered throughout the cabin. Tyler puts in his earbuds, cues up his playlist, looks out the window at the clouds below. Everything feels normal, routine, boring even. Just another flight. Just another few hours in the air before landing. Nothing special, nothing memorable, until his phone vibrates in his hand. The notification makes him glance down. A text message from his own number. Tyler stares at the screen, confused. How can he receive a text from himself? He checks the sender again. There it is. His exact phone number. Same digits he has memorized since his parents gave him this phone 2 years ago. But that is impossible. You cannot text yourself. The network does not work that way. He opens the message. His blood turns cold. The text reads, "Tyler, this is you from 47 minutes in the future. Flight 214 is going to crash. The right engine fails at 2:41 p.m. Everyone dies. You have to warn the pilots. This is real. Check the timestamp. It will show you this was sent at 3:06 p.m. Your time right now is 2:19 p.m. I am texting you from after the crash, from the moment before impact. This is your only chance. Our only chance." Tyler checks the timestamp. The message shows 3:06 p.m., but his phone clock reads 2:19 p.m. That is 47 minutes ahead. Exactly what the message said. His hands start shaking. This has to be a prank. Someone hacked his phone, spoofed his number, playing a sick joke on a kid flying alone. But how would they know his flight number? How would they know the specific time? He looks around the cabin. Everyone seems occupied. No one is watching him. No one is laughing. The flight attendants are preparing for takeoff. The captain makes an announcement welcoming everyone aboard. Everything proceeds exactly as it should. Tyler reads the message again and again. The words do not change. The timestamp stays frozen at 3:06 p.m., 47 minutes from now, or 47 minutes ago, depending on how you think about time. Another text arrives. Same number, same impossible sender. This one includes a photo. Tyler opens it and his stomach drops. The image shows the interior of this exact plane. Same blue seats, same overhead compartments, but everything is sideways, twisted. Smoke fills the cabin. Oxygen masks hang deployed and useless. Emergency lights flicker in the darkness. And there, in the corner of the photo, barely visible through the smoke and chaos, is a hand, wearing the same watch Tyler wears right now. Same silver band, same cracked crystal from when he dropped it last month. That is his hand in the photo, his watch, his future. The message below the photo reads, This is what happens in 45 minutes. The engine explodes. We lose altitude. The pilots cannot control the descent. We hit a mountain in Oregon. 112 people die. You die. I died. But maybe you can change it. Maybe sending this back changes everything. You have to try. Tyler's breathing becomes rapid, shallow. This cannot be real, cannot be possible. Time does not work this way. Messages do not travel backward from the future. Dead people do not send warnings to their past selves. But the evidence is right there on his screen. His number, his phone, his watch, his flight. Everything matches. Everything connects. The plane begins taxiing toward the runway. The flight attendant walks down the aisle, checking that everyone has their seatbelts fastened. Tyler looks up at her, opens his mouth to speak, to say something, to warn her. But what does he say? "Excuse me, I just got a text from myself in the future saying we are all going to die." They would think he is crazy, would probably remove him from the flight. Call security. Call his parents. Accuse him of making threats. Nobody believes a teenager claiming to have messages from the future. Nobody takes that seriously. Another text. This one more desperate. "Tyler, please, you have to listen. I know this sounds insane. I thought the same thing when I got these messages. Yes, you read that right. I got these messages too. This is not the first loop. This is not the first time we have tried to prevent the crash. I do not know how many times this has happened. How many versions of us have lived this moment? But every time we fail, every time we are too scared to act, too worried about looking crazy, and every time we die, everyone dies. Please break the cycle. Please be braver than I was, than we were. You have 43 minutes left. The engine fails at 2:41. You need to warn the pilots before then. Make them check the right engine. Make them inspect it. I am begging you. I am begging us. Do not let this keep happening. The plane reaches the runway, stops, waits for clearance. Tyler's mind races. Multiple loops. Multiple versions of himself living and dying and sending messages backward. How is that possible? How does any of this work? His phone is supposed to be in airplane mode, but somehow these messages keep coming through. Somehow future Tyler is reaching across time itself to warn past Tyler, to save past Tyler, to save everyone. The engines roar. The aircraft accelerates. Tyler feels the familiar push backward into his seat. They are taking off, leaving the ground, entering the air where in less than 40 minutes something catastrophic will happen. Unless he does something. Unless he finds the courage to act. The plane climbs. 1,000 feet. 2,000. 5,000. The seatbelt sign stays illuminated. Tyler looks at his phone again. The messages are still there. Still impossible. Still terrifyingly real. He takes a screenshot. Evidence. Proof. Something to show the flight attendants. Something to make them believe. But even as he does it, he knows how it will look. A teenager with photoshopped images. A kid seeking attention. A prankster trying to cause panic. Nobody will believe him. And yet, he has to try. Has to risk the embarrassment. The humiliation. Because if the message is real, if his future self really is sending warnings from beyond death, then 112 lives depend on him finding the courage to look foolish. Another text arrives. This one includes a video. Tyler hesitates, before opening it, afraid of what he will see. But he has to know, has to understand. The video is dark, shaky, recorded in chaos. He can hear screaming, alarms, the roar of wind. The camera shows the cabin tilted at a sickening angle, people pinned against seatbelts, luggage raining from overhead bins. Then the camera flips, shows the person holding the phone, shows Tyler, older by maybe an hour, face cut and bloody, eyes wide with terror. Future Tyler speaks directly to the camera, directly to him. You have to warn them. You have to make them believe. I know you were scared. I was scared too. But being scared kills us, kills everyone. Please, please be brave. The video cuts off, ends with static. With darkness, Tyler feels tears in his eyes. That was him. That was really him. Not an actor, not special effects. The fear in those eyes was genuine. The terror was real. His future self recorded that message, knowing death was seconds away. Used his last moments to send a warning, to give past Tyler one more chance, one more opportunity to change the outcome, to save everyone. The weight of that sacrifice crashes over Tyler like a wave. Someone died to send him these messages. He died, multiple versions of him, all trying desperately to break the loop, to prevent the catastrophe, and all of them failed because they were too afraid to act, too paralyzed by the fear of looking stupid to risk everything on an impossible warning. The seatbelt sign chimes off. The flight attendants stand, begin preparing the drink service. Tyler stands on shaking legs. His phone vibrates again. Another message. 38 minutes left. Do it now. Do not wait. The longer you wait, the less time they have to check the engine, to find the problem, to fix it, or land the plane early. Do it now, Tyler. Be the version of us that survives, that saves everyone. Please. Tyler puts his phone in his pocket, walks toward the front of the cabin. His heart pounds so hard he can hear it over the engine noise. Every step feels impossible. Every passenger he passes seems to stare at him, judging, doubting. A flight attendant near the galley notices him approaching. Can I help you? Tyler's mouth is dry. His voice cracks when he speaks. I need to talk to the pilots. It is an emergency. The flight attendant's expression changes. Concern mixed with caution. What kind of emergency? Tyler pulls out his phone, shows her the messages. The photos? The video. I know this sounds crazy, but I have been receiving messages from the future. From myself. The plane is going to crash in 37 minutes. The right engine is going to fail. We need to warn the pilots. We need to land now. The flight attendant looks at the phone. Her face remains professional, but Tyler can see the skepticism. Sweetie, are you feeling okay? This looks like some kind of prank. Tyler's voice rises, desperation bleeding through. It is not a prank. Look at the timestamps. Look at the photos. That is this plane. That is me. I know how insane it sounds, but you have to believe me. 112 people are going to die if we do not do something. Other passengers start noticing the commotion, turning in their seats, watching. The flight attendant puts a hand on Tyler's shoulder, steering him toward the back of the plane, away from the cockpit. Let us talk about this calmly. Why do not you come with me? We can sit down and you can explain everything. Tyler resists, pulls away. No, there is no time. We have to warn them now. Every second we waste is a second closer to the engine failing. Please, you have to listen. The flight attendant's tone becomes firmer. Sir, I need you to return to your seat. You are causing a disturbance. Tyler realizes what is happening. They think he is the threat, think he is the danger. A hysterical teenager making wild claims. They are going to restrain him, remove him as a problem. And everyone is going to die because nobody believes the boy with impossible messages. A second flight attendant approaches. What is going on? The first one explains quietly. He is claiming the plane is going to crash, showing strange messages on his phone. I think he might be having some kind of episode. Tyler looks between them, sees the decision already made in their eyes. They have decided he is disturbed, delusional, a problem to be managed, not someone to be believed. His phone vibrates. He checks it. Another message. 35 minutes. They are not listening. They never listen. You have to make them understand. You have to force them to check the engine. I do not know how, but you have to find a way. Tyler's mind races. What can he do? How can he make them believe? Then an idea hits him. Terrible but necessary. He runs, pushes past the flight attendants toward the cockpit door. Behind him they shout. Passengers gasp. Someone screams. Tyler reaches the reinforced door, pounds on it with both fists. Open up. You have to open up. The plane is going to crash. The right engine is failing. You have to check it. You have to land now, please. Please, listen to me. The door remains locked. Solidang impenetrably behind him, the flight attendants grab his arms. Pull him back. Tyler struggles. Keep shouting. Check the right engine. 2:41 p.m. That is when it fails. You have 34 minutes. Please, the passengers are standing now. Some frightened, some angry, demanding the crew control this crazy kid. Restrain him. Tyler feels zip ties being fastened around his wrists, feels himself being forced into a seat at the back of the plane, feels his phone being taken away. He failed, just like every other version of himself. Too late, too scared, too ineffective. The flight attendants secure him in the last row. One stays nearby, watching him. The other returns to the front to reassure passengers, to explain that the situation is under control, that a disturbed teenager was having some kind of breakdown, but he has been restrained. Everything is fine. The flight will continue normally. Tyler sits there helpless, zip-tied, disbelieved, unable to save anyone. The minutes tick by. 28 minutes until the engine fails. 27, 26, he closes his eyes, waits for the inevitable, waits to become the future version of himself who sends desperate messages backward, who records that terrible video, who dies knowing he tried and failed. Then something happens. A sound different from the normal engine drone. A shudder runs through the aircraft, subtle but unmistakable. The flight attendant watching Tyler notices too. Her expression shifts from suspicion to concern. The intercom crackles. The captain's voice comes through. Folks, we are experiencing a minor technical issue with one of our engines. Nothing to be alarmed about, but as a precaution, we are going to divert to Portland for an inspection. We will have you on the ground in about 15 minutes. The cabin fills with nervous murmurs. Tyler's heart races. They felt it. The beginning of the failure. The first sign of what future Tyler warned about. But they are landing, diverting, preventing the catastrophe by pure chance. Or maybe not chance. Maybe something Tyler said got through. Maybe one of the flight attendants mentioned his warnings to the pilots. Maybe the seed of doubt he planted made them more alert. Made them notice the early warning signs they might have otherwise dismissed. The plane begins descending. The flight attendant looks at Tyler differently now. Less like a threat, more like a mystery. She does not remove the zip ties, but her posture relaxes. We are landing early. Just like you said. How did you know? Tyler does not answer. Cannot answer. How do you explain messages from the future? How do you describe time loops and dead versions of yourself? The plane continues its descent. Lower, lower. The minutes pass. 2:41 p.m. comes and goes without catastrophe. Because they are already below 10,000 feet. Already approaching Portland. Already safe from the high-altitude engine failure that would have doomed them. The wheels touch down. That beautiful bump of contact with solid ground. The engines reverse. The plane slows, stops. They made it. Everyone made it. Emergency vehicles surround the aircraft. Mechanics board. Inspect. 20 minutes later, word spreads through the cabin. The right engine had a critical turbine blade crack. Would have failed catastrophically within minutes if they had stayed at altitude. The captain made the right call, diverting when he did. Saved everyone aboard. The passengers applaud, grateful for the skill and caution of the crew. Grateful to be alive. Tyler sits in the back row, still zip-tied. Still a mystery. Airport security boards. Questions him. Takes his phone. Examines the messages that should not exist. The photos from a crash that never happened. The video from a future that was prevented. They have no explanation. No rational way to understand what they are seeing. Eventually they release him. Remove the zip ties. Return his phone. Warn him never to cause a disturbance on a flight again. But they look at him strangely. Like he is something they do not understand, something that does not fit in their normal world. Tyler checks his phone. The messages are gone. Every single text, every photo, every video, all erased as if they never existed. The only evidence that remains is his memory. His certainty about what happened, about what almost happened. He thinks about all the other versions of himself who lived this day, who received the same warnings, who failed to act, who died and sent messages backward hoping the next version would be braver, would be smarter, would find a way. He does not know how many loops there were, how many times he died before finally surviving. But it is over now. The cycle is broken. The crash is prevented. Everyone lives. Tyler deplanes with the other passengers. They scatter through Portland Airport, catching other flights, continuing their journeys, completely unaware of how close they came to never arriving, never going home, never seeing their families again. Only Tyler knows. Only Tyler carries the weight of all those failed loops, all those deaths, all those futures that did not happen because finally, on this attempt, someone believed enough to act, even if that action looked crazy, even if it cost him his dignity, his comfort, his pride. His phone vibrates one last time. A final message from his own number. But this one shows the current time, not from the future, from right now. It reads, "You did it. You saved us. Saved everyone. I do not know how this works. Do not know why I remember the other loops. But thank you. Thank you for being brave. For risking everything. For breaking the cycle. You changed time itself. Changed fate. Never forget that one person who refuses to give up, who refuses to let fear win, can save the world. Or at least save one plane full of people. That is enough. That is everything." The message disappears as he watches, fading like the others, leaving Tyler standing in an airport terminal holding a phone full of ghosts, full of memories of disasters that never were, full of proof that the future is not fixed, that time can be changed, that warnings from tomorrow can save today. Tyler boards a different flight 3 hours later, arrives in Seattle, hugs his grandmother, does not tell her what happened, does not mention the messages or the crash or the impossible loop he broke. Some things are too strange to share, too unbelievable even when true, but he thinks about it. Every day, thinks about all those other versions of himself who died trying to save everyone, who failed but kept trying, who sent messages backward until finally one message reached a Tyler brave enough to act, and he wonders if somewhere in some other timeline, some other version of him is still stuck in the loop, still dying, still sending warnings, still hoping the next version will be the one who succeeds. He hopes not. Hopes this timeline, this reality, is the only one left. The one where everyone survived. Where future Tyler's sacrifice finally paid off. Where one boy's courage prevented 112 deaths. That is enough. That has to be enough. So, if you like this video, please like and subscribe for more videos like this.